So tonight we're going to do our Legendary Galaxy META TORP build updated due to the BOIMLER trait. So we're going to build it out, go over the traits, go over the DOFs, take it out to an ELITE Argala, see how she does. So it didn't save here the changes, but we'll go ahead and just build her out. So our first torp here, we'll go with our EBM, Enhanced Biomolecular Photon Torpedo, which comes from the Undine rep. The next torp we have is our Delphic Distortion Torpedo, which comes from the Lobi store. Third torp is our Neutronic Torpedo Launcher, which comes from the Delta rep. And then we already have on here the Dark Matter Quantum Torpedo, which comes from the Discovery rep. Our space set stays the same. It's going to be the Colony Deflector, the Polar Matter Deflector, the Innervated Impulse Engines from the Competition rep, and the two-piece Warp Core Shield from the Discovery rep. And then here in the aft weapons, we're going to put our mines, which the first one is the Competitive Mine, Modulating Competition Mine Launcher. Next slot, we'll go with the Thoron Infused Quantum Mine. Third will be the Tetrion Mine Launcher. And then the fourth mine will be the Black Ops Mine Launcher. Devices, we need to turn surplus for speed, our Temporal Negotiator. Of course, we'll get our Torp Candy. Don't necessarily need red matter capacitor, so what we'll put in place there is some damage resistance, subspace field modulator, and of course our Kobayashi Maru transponder. Okay, for our consoles, of course, the Locator from the Discovery rep. Gonna keep our Bio-Neural Infusion Circuits, our Dynamic Power Redistributor Module, our Emulating Phaser Lance, which is going to be proccing Universal Designs to cool down our Universal Consoles. We're taking off the domino here. We're taking off this console. We don't need that. So essentially, we're going to take out all these consoles and fill these out with our Ferrofluid Hydraulic Assembly, which is from the Terran rep. And the reason why we need that is because it gives minus 0.5 second shared torpedo recharge time. Maximum hit points, that actually adds and feeds into tire duality. So that's always a good thing. And then our Ordnance Accelerator from the Gamma rep, which gives us minus 1.5 second shared mine recharge time. Also giving us plus 20% mine recharge speed, plus 26.3% projectile weapon damage, and plus 26.3 phaser directed energy damage, and that is going to feed into the Emulating Phaser Lance. So that's a good console to have from that. The other console we're going to have here is our Tricobalt Launcher, which comes from the Steam Runner, which that in itself is an excellent ship. Now for this, because we're going to be doing some just TFOs together, I'm going to be using the opening salvo for now, along with to put down the shields on our targets. And I believe I could use a two-piece here, which gives me, of course, plus 33% phaser damage directed energy, which is going to help the phaser Emulating Phaser Lance, but it's also a launchable console, the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead, which, going towards the target, paired with the buff power Chemosite, is going to proc Chemosite. So this we could change into the console for, let's say, the Phase Space Membrane when we're doing supported, let's say, high-end ISE runs, but for now we'll just use the opening salvo because taking shields down is a good thing for us. Okay, we'll head over to the stations here. We will be doing our stations, and I am gonna go with I could go with high yield. Sorry, attack with Panorama, which paired up with Salt Formation Theta give me a high yield 3. So there's my high yield 3. We'll go with pattern dispersal pattern beta 1 for the mines, and of course Hematite. Now, what we might have to do though, actually, now that I think about it, we're gonna have to have Fa on here. I'm hoping that could be ran 100% with BOIMLER so that I can keep Torp spread going. I do have Concentrate Firepower 3 here, paired up with High Yield 3 and the Mine Dispersal pattern, and my Torp spread. Or we can go traditionally, and maybe just for now, you know what, we'll see how this combo works. Let's go do this. Let's just go straight up High Yield 3, Scatter Volley, Fa, and then Chemosite. So the Scatter Volley and Fa will work with the ETM trade for back-to-back Torp spreads, and then we'll have High Yield 3 and then Concentrate Firepower 3. We'll change this to Warp Eject Warp Plasma, which will proc the Uncon to cool down our buff abilities. And I believe I don't have, Unstable Warp Bubble already there. That's fine. We can go Ox to Sif, which will also help with different things, and then emergency powered engines. And of course, here in the commander is Call Emergency Artillery 3, Concentrate Firepower 3, Unstable Warp Bubble, and then Structural Integrity Collapse for the debuff. Uncon procs continue with our Scramble sensors and Jam sensor targeting. Now, I might have to change this. You know, I will change this because I want my additional torpedo from Tractor Beam from the rapid, the retreat, which we'll go over right now. So Torp, so everything here has to be reset. Love it when you come in to a build and you have 2 Boimlers. So got good data die. Now the one trait I did see our good friend Spencer used was Anchored, which was kind of interesting. But right now we'll just build it out as we normally like Hot Pursuit. We need those mines crawling to the targets because we're not always going to be running ISEs, so got to think about that too. Resonating payload modifications for the stacking kinetic and physical damage debuff. Of course, superior projectile training. And here is where we can of course we have Uncon already there. This is where we can sort of add on to more debuff by using Into the Breach, because on the kill it debuffs nearby enemies. But there's also the bonus shield penetration for projectiles, so you know, we'll go with that. So for our personal space traits, we got a good data die, Hot Pursuit, Resonating Payload Modification, Intelligence Agent Attaché, Inspirational Leader, Superior Projectile Training, Kinetic Precision, Terran Targeting Systems, Unconventional Systems, and BOIMLER. For our Starship's traits, let's redo this because this is for a beam-ish build, so we'll take that out for now. And since we're going torp, we will go... We don't... Usually I like using assault formation data, but not this time. We will use ceaseless momentum. Of course, our good friend... Where'd it go? Where did it go? There you go. Rapid emitting armaments, or we just call it RE for short. And then subspatial warheads. And then here is we can sort of add just whatever is going to work. And usually it's been overpowered over gun because of the traits that I do have, but so maybe that's just what we'll use. One more go over this before we make our final decision. Preferential targeting. I do like this piercing projectiles. But then of course this helps with cycle haste. So we'll go overpowered over gun. Our space reps. Okay, torpedo pre-fire sequence. We're going all torpy here. Torpy? Sure. Of course, all weapon damage bonus. We'll go with that. Omega kinetic shearing, precision, and Tyler's duality. So what I mean when critical chance based on hull capacity, so the higher hull capacity you have, the more crit chance you have. So I've just added 4.1 crit chance. That's not bad. So active space traits, we will just go the normal combo. Oh, not that one. There you go. And then the last thing here, before we go, we'll go fix these power levels. We'll put it into engines and shields. I could go aux, but okay, for our doofs. Projectile, con. I'm okay with this. Now, there was talk of me putting aux to bat, but I'm going to just, like another cooldown reduction. I will check to see how this works. And if I feel like I need more cooldown reduction, then I will add in Photonic Officer or aux to bat. So then, now, let's work on our shaking tray here. To make sure that things are set up properly, but because they're not. So captains already know how I kind of build out my tray. So we will do that. So we'll start fire on my mark. We'll put structural integrity collapse next. And then usually how I build my spam bar is rows 1 and 2 and goes left to right. And I usually use like my debuffs, my marking my targets, alpha strike, and then the buff powers activation. So alpha will go with vulnerability assessment sweep, go down fighting as our continued damage buff. We'll fire our lance out. We'll do... Oh, didn't have mine here. We didn't have our mine. That's okay. We'll just go with these mines, that's fine. We'll have hot pursuit anyways, we just won't be spitting out as much with the mine dispersal buff power. So mines, and then this is now where we turn on our torp power. So we'll start with concentrate chemocyte, concentrate firepower, high yield. We'll put Fa on the spam bar, but then we'll leave scatter volley as a manual, because when I hear the cue to hit the second torp spread is after I hear the first torp spread go off. That is kind of how I've been doing the cue there. So we have that. Our engines. Oh, we're gonna spam. Yeah, we're gonna spam that too. So there's that for my attack abilities. We'll leave that there. Now we go with our uncon procs. So our stable warp bubble, our scramble sensors, and then our eject warp plasma. And then we're going to leave against all odds here on the spam bar as well, along with our Kobayashi Maru. And if we go below 50%, then at least fleet support is on the spam bar as well. Okay, so building out now our major buffs. We're going to keep this here, so I go Focus Frenzy, Tactical Fleet, Intelligence Fleet, and of course Dynamic Power Redistributor. And how I do the bottom bar for my, again, this is a hotkey activation here, is I'll usually go Opening Salvo to take down the shields. And then next will be the Retrait, try Cobalt Launcher. Actually, I'm going to spam this here, our Point Defense Bombardment Warhead. And then call Emerging Artillery. So 3 and 4 on 2 hotkeys. So when I'm facing a major target, I will be spamming 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 will be, so row 5 is more like heals. So we can just go that. Do here, and then emergency powered engines. So we have our speed buffs here, and then of course Torp Candy up here. And then the rest here are kind of just manual cookies as well. So there is that built. Let's save this. You always got to save before you transfer maps. So save to Galtorp. There you go. Let's go into new Romulus system just to see if that's saved. Oof. There she is. Okay, let's pick a different spot here. We went over here. We went always below. We went kind of on top. So we're gonna see how the top here, like the very top of New Romulus looks like. Oof! Look at that haze over the planets. Little lens flare going on there. We like the lens flare. Ooh, I think we found our spot right there. I think we found our spot. Ooh, there's lens flare. Very nice. Okay, so the next portion here, we're going to take her out to Argala. Let's see first if everything's saved. Traits, yes. Doofs, and my personal traits going crazy there. We're on Elite. Let's check out the patrol quickly. Let's see how she does. Oof, look at that. That's just... Alright. Here we go. Let's take her out. Get her mines out. And there she goes. Oof. That was a lot of torp power there. Hot dang.
You are now my... Looks like our fight got them to notice us.
Okay, next group here.
Ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
Oof, those new explosion animations are just great.
We will not go quietly.
See, once I hear that torp spread, activate the second one. So our mines go in there.
Down and surrender to the Benton Guard. Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with multiple temporary hideouts. We do what we want, where we want.
I feel like my cooldowns are pretty okay.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance. I'm taking you with me.
Performing pretty well. Let's buff up here. And just like that.
Excellent work. We'll send over a pacification party to take the suspect into custody.
It even felt like my hull didn't even go down, so she can take a
Thank you for
beating.
your assistance. We have the suspect in custody.
So there's the galaxy that we'll be using tonight for the 40k redeem stream. We're just going to be using her and using her with a META TORP build. And captains, you know that this is like my first love in Star Trek, the first ship I ever saw. So to be using her again tonight for the 40k redeem stream is just going to be great. So there's the build, there's how she performs.